Hello, everyone. Welcome to Either Ways Money and Life show. In today's episode, I want to talk about personal budgeting. And personal budgeting is so important if you're to become financially independent because there's no way you can acquire wealth without knowing how much you owe, and how much you are being owed, how much you have to pay, how much you have to receive. And you cannot acquire personal wealth or become financially independent without knowing how to save. Saving is so important. Therefore, as you may have listened to other of my YouTube videos or heard from my podcast, which is Either Ways Money and Life show on iTunes, Google Podcast, Amazon Music and Audible, Palmbean, and Spotify. Either ways, Money and Life show are all available on all of those podcast platforms. Also, as you may have heard in my YouTube videos, which I post every day, and where I talk about financial independence and on how you can become financially independent because wealth is for everyone, and how you can create wealth for yourself, for your family, and for your future generation, and how you can give back to the society or to the community as well in that journey. In addition, I also talk about self development, about personal development, because personal development is so important. We have to understand the power that we have as individuals, as human beings, and that is the power of our minds. Our minds are so powerful and even stronger and bigger and better and more powerful than any nuclear weapon or power, stronger, more powerful than any dynamite you can ever think of or ever build. Even the dynamite, even the nuclear weapons are coming from the minds of men. They never fell from heaven. We manufacture them, we put them together. So that is how powerful your mind is. And whatsoever you can set your mind upon, be passionate about it, be obsessed about it, I can guarantee you that the power of your mind, the invisible power behind you, will enable you to achieve it. Okay. So on today's podcast, which is on personal budgeting, this is this is a personal budgeting spreadsheet I use for training. I know people may have it in different ways or whatever, but what I've done here is, as you can see from this spreadsheet, although they are formula driven, which is very easy they're not complicated formulas, it just links. Now I started with starting balance. For any person, I don't believe that we all have a bank account, even if you don't have a bank account, even if you keep your money under your pillow, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you still know how much you have left under your pillow. But if you keep it on the bank, you know how much you have at your bank balance. I put a fictitious figure here, which is 2,500. It's not, I just put a figure there just to have something in there. Let's assume that you have 25 at the end of last period or at the end of last month or under your pillow. This is what you can boldly say, that this is what I have at this point in time. So that is your closing balance. That is your book closing balance, whether you have one or not, but that is your closing balance. And then that closing balance is your opening balance whenever you want to start or whenever you want to add any addition that you may have this month or this period, and from your income or take away from it as you pay off your debt or your expenses, things like that. So here, and if you are to embark on financial independence journey, or if you're to embark on becoming financially independent, personal budgeting is so important. It's a critical component because this is your planning. You can't just start a car without without driving to a destination. You end up nowhere. So this is a must-have thing. Now, how you develop it is up to you. But this is how I've done mine in the past and still do mine. This is what I use for personal training. I'm not just speaking because I want to put up a video on YouTube or make podcast. Maybe some of you don't know my background, but I'm an accountant. I was an MBA and I'm doing a PhD in financial strategy as well. So, and I have 17 years experience working as a financial person at our as a finance manager, tax director, and executive director, and things like that. So you will you will really gain from what I'm trying to show you here if you can apply it in personal life. So what I've done here is my starting balance. You can see it's the same every month. They are the same every month because these haven't changed. The only change here because of the 10% that I added somewhere here because of that. That is why it changed. That's where it's reduced here because it's 10% of that, right? So, and it hasn't changed here because I don't have any income. I don't have any savings, no retirement that has gone out of my income. So let's take it one step at a time. Now, I said, actually, this is a summary. This page here to here is a summary. This below here is a work. The reason I put debt next to my summary is because I want to have these or these. I want to have them as a visual memory. I want to always have them once I open the spreadsheet. So I want to, oh, this is an obligation. This is something I need to do. This is something I need to do. As a kind of a reminder, if you will. And then I have a total of that, which is just a summation. If you press F in your keyboard. Now, income, I have income next. You may have more income, more income streams. Some people have more than 10 income streams. Especially if you're in business and things like that. So you may have more here. Add as many as you want and have a total at the bottom. And then expenses, monthly expenses, I divided them into two categories. The reason I did that is because there are some expenses that you have the flexibility or the room to maneuver in terms of deferring them or not meeting them at that particular month, or scrap them all together. That is something you don't want to do, for the time being and things like that. And that is why I separate them. But there's some you cannot, and you don't have that flexibility to maneuver. So, and that is why you may have more than these. You may have as many as you want. They may be more than these fixed expense at the end of the month. You may have up to 100. I don't know. Add as many as you want. Then the variable ones. So I divided them into fixed and variable expenses. Variable is because they varies from month to month. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, medicine. You don't buy medicine every month. Transportation. You don't take cab or public transportation every day, except if you don't have a car. Then if you don't have a car, then you may not need car insurance. So you may have to remove this, or any car payment that, so for example, here car or cars, you may have to remove that because